Hey guys, welcome back to the YouTube. I'm so happy you're here. My name is Lionheart, and I'm your host of 7 Levels. And I'm so excited. This is our first episode of Season 2. I'm very stoked. Thank you, everyone, for your support through Season 1. We had an awesome group of people come through and let us know about their lives, and we talked about, I felt like we talked about everything, but I know we didn't, because I know we have so much more to talk about with all of our new guests this season. I've already got like 5 or 6 people lined up to do Season 2. We're shooting for 15. As always, guys, I can only find these people if they are promoted to me. Like I'm out of people. I've asked everyone I know, and so we can only keep going if I have y'all's help. Make sure you guys are reaching out to people and saying, hey, you should check out this series and see if you want to do it. Like if your favorite streamer, you know what I mean, whoever you watch on Friday nights or Thursday nights or whenever, and just say, hey, check out this thing, it's pretty cool, I think you should do it. And also tell me who they are. Come to me and be like, hey, you should reach out to this person. I mentioned it and they seem interested. That's the best way you can help me out to continue the series, is to just be actively communicating to people about it, who you want to see do it, and then I'll do my part on my end to reach out. Because today's interview actually couldn't have been done, but they were recommended to me by one of the last people I interviewed in the last season. So I'm really excited to get to do this interview today, but I could only have done it if someone told me that I should interview this person. So with that being said, I cannot wait to introduce you guys to Mower of the Lawn. Welcome to the game show podcast thing. I'm still not sure what it is, but I'm glad you're here. Sure. Welcome, man. How you doing?
Thank you. Glad to be here. Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so happy you're here.
Good.
So it is currently like 1:53 in Oklahoma, but it is 7:53 where you are right now. We are across the world from each other. Well, almost. Pretty far.
Almost.
Yeah.
Pretty far.
Yeah. But man, thank you so much for coming on the show. Just go ahead, take a second, introduce yourself. Tell people what you do on Twitch and what kind of content they could find in your neck of the woods.
Yeah, no worries. So I stream on Twitch 6 days a week. Currently it's Wednesday through Monday, but it is set to change by one day, maybe at some point. I stream Pokemon, do mostly shiny hunting, and I'm looking into getting into new game releases as well. So when things like God of War come out, or what else do we got? I don't even know. When new games come out, I want to stream those as well. Give them a shot and see how it goes, basically. But yeah, it's mostly shiny hunting, Pokemon on Twitch. Yeah, 6 days a week, and it's gonna stay that way for a while.
Nice.
So,
a lot of our Pokemon mutuals have been playing Elden Ring. Did you get Elden Ring?
no.
Yeah. That kind of stuff's not in my genre either, but it's been kind of fun to watch them do it though.
Yeah. So I got Bloodborne a while back, and it was like a goal for the stream, and we played it, and I found I was good at the combat, but not good at the exploration. And finding ways through and stuff, so it was difficult. So I think with like an open world style one, I don't think I'd be very good. But it looks good.
Yeah. Well, man, I mean, they just previewed. You've seen all the stuff dropping about Scarlet and Violet. I'm sure you have, right?
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
it looks awesome. Looks like that's gonna be a really fun game.
It looks so good.
I can't wait to see. I always get excited when new Pokemon are like introduced. You know what I mean? So I can't wait to have like a new regional favorite. It'll be fun.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh my gosh! I just noticed something in your back stream. You and I have those old Burger King or McDonald's, the gold Pokemon cards. You're like the only other person I've seen that has those too. That's awesome.
You know what's crazy? I was gonna say earlier, the Luna Lovegood pop in the background. I've got that one too, but I can't see it. It must be behind some others, but it's here somewhere. I love that one.
Luna's like my favorite Harry Potter character. I think she's like super
Same.
deep, and profound, but also just like underrated. And of course I got she's got the lion thing on because she's and I'm Lionheart, so yeah, I love that one. That's a good pop.
I love it. It's a good one. It really is.
But I actually have an icebreaker question for you, because I noticed other things about your setup. Danny DeVito back there, what's the story behind that? What's he doing?
Danny DeVito. So Danny DeVito was a nice Christmas present from one of my friends, which is now one of my mods as well. And we just really enjoy Danny DeVito. We think he's hilarious. Always Sunny in Philadelphia is top. Matilda's great. Just incredible. And he buys it me for Christmas, and it's just the best thing ever.
That's awesome.
So good. It's just been a part of the stream the whole time we've been doing it. Nearly, I'd probably say like once a week you get someone come in like, oh, that old dude in the background scared me. It's Danny DeVito. Come on now.
He's like the nicest guy on the
teddy
planet.
bear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, they have a podcast now, and it's pretty good. So if you need some, I know you said you're a driver, right? You're a delivery. Yeah, if you need some good listening, they're pretty good. So I would suggest that. But yeah, so
good.
Well, what we are here to do today is play 7 levels, and I'm so excited to get into this conversation. But I'm going to take a second to break the rules down of 7 levels and the kind of the origin story. I do this every episode, but guys, I made 7 levels as to be a tool, a resource for streamers to talk about something without being interrupted. Because naturally, when streamers are on Twitch, they're playing a game. There's viewers coming in and out, new people saying hi, new people saying bye, and also typically just talking about themselves. Not a whole lot of people ask the streamer about themselves sometimes, and it's just the way it is. But so this is an opportunity for the streamer to really unfold and talk about the stuff that they got in their mind and on their hearts, and so far I've been really pleased with all of it. And the idea is that the first question is a pretty shallow question, but it gets deeper and deeper as we go, and then at some point we're getting more profound, but the only goal is by the end of it we had a good conversation. That's it. That's the goal for today, and I think me and Mower of the Lawn are gonna have a great conversation today. So with that being said, Mower of the Lawn, my first guest of season 2, are you ready to get started?
100%.
Let's do it.
Let's go. Yep.
Okay. I like this question a lot because I think it really puts people back in the it really takes them back. But what's your favorite animal?
See, this is a funny question because I got asked this the other day, and the person that asked me, they never waited for my answer. And we just started talking about everything else, but we were actually at the zoo, and I was trying to think of all these zoo animals. I'm like, you know what? It's always cool seeing animals in the zoo. But a good dog. A dog is just a top animal. It's just loyal and fun, and yeah, so cute.
I think that's a great pick.
That's got to be the one.
Do you have a dog?
No, I wish. But the problem is at the moment is just working life and stuff.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be fair. So,
right. You'll get one. You'll get one someday. Yeah.
Exactly.
So do you remember deciding it was a dog, or was it a childhood thing, or is that a thing that you've come on in your adulthood that you didn't need a zoo animal? It was just like a good pet.
Yeah. I think the fact that there's just a straight up companion. It's always been I guess on my mind. Like every dog that I've met has just been so nice. And then with maybe things like, I don't know, cats or monkeys or anything that ranges past that, you don't know what they're gonna do. Whereas a dog, you can just tell it's gonna be nice and want to go for a walk and things like that. So I think it's just like a subconscious thing, but then you sort of end up just realizing it at some point.
Yeah. My fiance and I have a dog, a 1-year-old dog.
Yeah.
And man, he's just like one of my best friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's only a year old, so he's still in that phase where he kind of you can tell he's analyzing things, he's putting things together, and I just love seeing him look at me like he's figured something out. It's just it makes me so proud, you know what I mean? And yeah, I don't know, he's so great. But
what kind of dog?
It is a Bernese mountain dog mixed with a poodle.
Ooh. Oh,
So
damn. Yeah.
Bernedoodles. Yeah, my fiance
Yeah.
has a pretty bad pet allergies, but we both love dogs, and so
Yeah.
that she is not allergic to our dog, which is great. But um,
Hey.
and she is getting her master's in counseling, and Bernese Mountain Dogs and Poodles are both breeds commonly used to be therapy dogs. So
Yeah.
we're gonna train him to be like he'll go to work with her and like sit in on her clients and stuff like that if they
Yeah.
if they want. So
Oh,
um,
that's awesome. Yeah.
yeah, he's gonna be really cool. He's definitely not able to do that yet. He's way too hyper, but one day,
Yeah.
one day he'll
one
get
years
there.
old. Yeah.
Um, so okay, that's level one. Not too bad, right? We're doing good.
Easy peasy. Yeah.
Level two. Do you have siblings?
I do.
Which order, or tell me the order, I guess.
Okay. It's just me and my sister. I'm older. She's younger.
What
We're
oh, go
we're
ahead.
like 2 years and 360 days apart.
Oh
So
wow.
we're close, but like just on the yeah, 5 days before me.
So do you think you have typical older sibling vibes?
Ooh, it depends what you mean.
So,
Go on.
well, I mean, there's like some stereotypical older sibling things, right? Like the responsible one, the leader, the pressured, like you got a little bit more parental pressure and stuff like that.
So I don't feel like I take on older sibling responsibilities. I'm not like that. Like she was she's done a teaching degree, and she works in care with like basically babies and pre-toddlers, um like yeah, younger than kindergarten type of thing. Um she's definitely the more responsible one. 100% always has been. Um I was just always the terrible one. But yeah. I feel like she takes on way more than I do with that kind of thing, and I just sit down and just chill. So
Do you think there's things that have dynamics that the two of you owned when you were younger that have like switched at all now that you're older?
no, you know what? I think we've grown as the same sort of people that we were before. So I was always sort of, I didn't really like being told what to do. I didn't like school. Um, I didn't really want to do any learning. I didn't want to revise for exams, things like that. And I think that's gone on into my adult life as well, where it's just sort of sit back, kick back, and chill and just do what I can, sort of thing. Whereas she's been very on the ball, always like she always had to push herself. Um, she always had to push herself to do like to learn for exams and stuff and
Mm,
make sure she knew that knowledge. And she got good grades. I got okay grades, but I never revised.
mm,
Whereas she, if never revised, she'd probably get less than me. But because she did revise, she got better than me. You know.
yeah.
Um. So I feel like we've grown just like that as we've grown up. We were never close either.
Oh.
Um. Yeah, I don't really speak to her. There's no bad blood or anything. It's just we just sort of grew apart. Um. Yeah. Yeah. And I'd probably say it's that's pretty normal for us. Yeah, we're not really like I'd say like a super close family, but very sort of we know each other, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually do really understand that. I have two half sisters and they're like 10 years
Yep.
older than me. So I have like memories of the younger one. They're both older than me, but so like the middle sister, I would say, if I'm the youngest, and I have like maybe like a year or two's worth of memories of living with her, and then she moved out. And I I think it's that I really level with what you're saying. It's like I know my sisters and
Yeah.
I know who they are and like what kind of conversations I would have with them and like what's normal and like but it wasn't the same as like having a sister or a brother a year apart from me. you know. So
Yeah, yeah.
um so yeah, I definitely level with that. Well, cool. That's level 2.
Cool.
We were starting to get deep there for a little bit, a little
Yeah,
bit
yeah.
deeper. I
Good
had
to
some
bit.
follow ups, but I think maybe save them for later. We'll
Ooh.
figure it out. Yeah. Uh, third level. Oh, I love this question. What's your first memory?
Oh, jeez. Uh, wow. I mean, I can I can sort of remember this point in my head where I'm in a hospital, and I believe it's when my sister was actually being born or had just been born.
Mm.
And I remember like I wanted some like blackcurrant juice or something, or whatever, and I was only allowed a bit. But that's sort of all I can remember from it. I have a really terrible memory. Um, if I really think about it, I can think about maybe when I was, what would I have been, 7? When I was in school. I remember a classroom. Um, and I kind of remember what the teacher looked like and what the sort of layout of the classroom looked like, but it's not easy. I'm really not very good at remembering things. Um, so yes, that's difficult. But I remember a hospital, and then a few years later I can remember a classroom. I think they would be like my earliest memories, but that is a big blank piece of life.
do you,
Right there.
do you mind if I ask how old you are?
I am 27. I'm gonna be 28 in 4 months.
Cool. Okay. Um, yeah. So the average person answers like their earliest memory is like, so this is like when people think the brain is able to like actually start cognitively collecting,
Yeah,
is like 4 to 5. And that's like the
yeah,
average. And like, you know, every once in a while you have some kid tell you they remember the day where they're born. I was like, yeah, right. Like, there's no way. But you know,
this ain't happening.
they might though. Who knows? I just like
Yeah,
I don't believe it, but who knows? But yeah. So it sounds like that adds up. That like, you know, you would remember something as monumental as like when your sister like came to be. If
yeah.
that's what
I
it
feel
was.
like,
You know what I mean?
yeah. I don't think there was any other reason for us to have gone to the hospital when I was that kind of age, because I would have been like nearly 3 years old. Um, I don't think there would have been any other reason to go there at that point. So I sort of pushed it together in my brain as like, oh, it probably must have been this. But yeah, it's really like a fuzzy thing. Um, yeah. And then yeah, I don't really remember too much, to be honest with you. It's like short-term memory and long-term memory are just so blank. So blank in my head. Um
Do you know who you are? Do you know?
yeah.
Okay.
I got that one. I can do that. I'm not very good at the days of the week. Uh but yeah,
Dude,
I get by, but
I typically don't know the date. I will say, like, I
yeah.
typically just don't know the date of what day it is. But well, I know what day of the week it is. I'm a kind of like a routine. Like, I really
Yeah.
hate when things. I'm not organized, but I don't. But I like my routine. If that makes sense. But
Yeah. Yeah.
so that way I don't have to remember anything. It just happens. The thing happens. But um, so have you ever been asked how is your memory presented? Because like some people uh replay their memory from their perspective, and then some people play it from like behind themselves, like third person.
Yeah. So um I like looking into this kind of thing because it's really um oh, I'm not good with words either. I struggle to remember words a lot.
Oh, you're fine.
Um so um you know when you see, this is where I'm going to struggle because there's big words that I'm trying to remember. Um say for example, uh, when you read and you like paint a picture in your brain, a lot of people think in like pictures or
Oh yeah.
things like that. Whereas I very much don't do that. I don't see the pictures in my brain. Um, it's very strange. Like I remember being in school and the teacher was like, I don't remember. I don't even remember when this was, but this was a long time ago. and they were like, imagine a ball, and then in my head, there's just a ball. It's just a ball, like it's just a spherical object, no color, no nothing about it. But all these kids would be like, oh cool, there's a ball, and then the teacher would be like, what else do you see? And they'd be like, it's on a table, and there's a green carpet, and
Oh,
there's
well,
curtains and stuff. And
interesting.
I just see a ball. I just see a basic circle. Like there's no images in my head. I'm just thinking objectively, I suppose. Um, Go back to the question again.
No, no, no. That is so interesting. I mean, because like literally right when you say it, for some reason I pictured a baseball, but then I also pictured
Yeah,
the field and the bat, and like it was like all the stuff was there. And then even when you said just picturing a sphere, it's like, how does he put? It's almost like your mind is thinking in a green screen. Like, how do you not
yeah,
put anything back there? I don't know how you're doing that, but there's always something behind it.
yeah,
But
yeah.
that's
It's so
so
weird.
interesting. But yeah, I was asking like when you recall your memories, is it from your focal
First person
point
or
or
third
third
person.
person? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's first person. I'm pretty sure. Um, the not being able to think in sort of pictures makes it difficult to remember these memories. But I'm pretty sure it's first person because I'm not thinking about sort of what I look like or um anything like that, and I'm not seeing other people when I'm looking in a certain direction, if you know what I mean. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it makes a lot
Yeah,
of
I'm
sense.
saying.
Yeah.
So yeah, it seems like it'd be first person. I think a lot of everything goes, into my brain literally as it is type
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah. Have you ever taken a personality test?
Um, hmm, no, I don't think so.
Like, there's some pretty cool. You should try it sometime because I bet you'd be like, um, like there's like some pretty rare personalities, and it has to do with perception. So I bet you you'd be
Yeah.
like one of those rare ones. Like I'm like a very typical one. Like I'm just like, the one that everyone takes. I can't even remember the name of it. Let me Google it real quick. I also have bad memory, by the way. But
Yeah.
mine is just like word recall and stuff like that. Personality test.
Yeah, I just wrote it down on my notepad to like do one.
Myers
do a
Briggs.
personality.
Myers
Oh, I've
Briggs.
heard of that. Yeah.
That's the popular one everyone takes. And it basically just helps you understand if you're like introverted or extroverted, if you're
Oh,
if you are emotionally aware or emotionally like introspective and stuff like that. Like
yeah.
it's pretty cool. um
I have to do it. Yeah, I've written it down so I know
Let me know
I can.
if you do your test. Let me know.
Yeah.
I'd be curious to see what you get. Well, congratulations. That's level 3, man. You're doing great.
Hey,
You're crushing this.
thank you.
Uh, I will say from this point on, the questions get a little bit harder. I'm gonna have maybe a little bit more. I shouldn't say harder, deeper. I'm gonna have a little bit more follow-up questions. I'm gonna probe and pry and see if there's anything I can find in there
Yeah.
to rabbit trail off of. Um, so here's a tough one.
Okay.
Requires a little bit of honesty. Well, I hope you be honest all the way through this, but
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
were you bullied, or do you think you were more of a bully?
So this is like a tough thing to think about. Um, there was a lot of instances of bullying. Um, like a lot. It was never easy for me. Um, Everything sort of had to be really difficult. But there would be those times where you try and fit in with the more popular kids or the ones that were not nice to you, and so you wouldn't be nice to other people. Um,
Hmm.
and yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that about myself. That was not nice. I'd love to be able to go back and be like, don't do that. That's just dumb. Don't do it. Um, but I've done what I've done. But I've definitely feel on the scale of bullying to bullied, uh, probably 2-3% bullying in comparison to, the 90+% bullied. If you see what I mean.
Yeah.
It's yeah. Yeah. It's sort of like a, how do I get out of being bullied? Oh, maybe I can get in with the bullies
Yeah.
type of deal. Yeah.
I think that is um I think that's a pretty standard human logical course, is like, you know, the best way to not get bullied is to have, to be on the side of the
Yeah.
bully, which is like, unfortunately, uh like, I guess, like, true, accurate,
To
or like
yeah.
observable. I don't know which word I want to use there, but it's like, it does work for people. And like, in a cultural setting where, like, everything, especially school, man, school is brutal. Everything feels like survival of the fittest. um and
Yeah.
like, if you, like you said, if you don't want to be a bully, then like, you need to, like, if you don't want to be a bully but you don't want to get bullied, you have to somehow allow bullying, but onto somebody else,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
which is like, you know
I feel like bullying will just never stop. There's no be all and end all, because kids are mean. People are mean. Your
yeah,
boss is mean. Your grand's mean. Everyone can be mean.
yeah,
I feel like there's no end to it, but if at least someone sees something and goes, "Oh, you know, I've done this to hurt that person. I've got to stop." If someone sees that from, whether it's this or something else, that's really good. Um, I think that needs to be more of. I think bullying needs to be talked about more, because it's not linear. It's not. It's not. This person's a bully and this person's not a bully. It's it's a wide range of what's going on, and why is this person a bully? You know, is it home life? Is it school life? Is it to feel cool? What's going on? And then the people that are bullied, why are they getting bullied? Is there any feasible reason? That might sound like victim blaming as well, but there must be a reason bullies pick on certain people and not others.
yeah, yeah.
So
And
as long as, like, something can happen for it to calm down at least a bit, from social media, YouTube videos, everything like that, I think people are doing a good job.
yeah,
100%.
yeah. So it was tough. You're 27, I'm 30. So I think that was the crazy part about the time we grew up in, is like the different levels of how standardized it is to, uh like, how standardized it is to be hearing about bullying and stuff like that. Because, like,
Yeah.
at one point, it was like literally just like teachers would tell you not to do it, but it's like, kids don't care about what these old teachers have to think. But now you have, like, teenage celebrities telling you not to do
Yeah.
it, and you can see that at any time. Like, any TikTok star, or any, probably has some testimonial about bullying. And it's
Yeah.
I hope that sets the next generation up a little bit better. But
Yeah.
I kind of want to chase what you said a little bit about, like, the victim blaming. I don't think it is victim blaming,
No, no.
because I think there is a, um this is where it's hard, because I never want to justify bullying, but I do
Yeah.
think there is a certain level of social accountability that is important for children growing up. And that is like there is there does need to be a way that the people around you can signify to you that what you're doing is, like, socially awkward, weird, incorrect, inappropriate. I
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
now I don't think bullying is the answer to it, but I think that's the how it ends up going. But, like, I mean, I learned, like, oh my gosh, I have some crazy embarrassing moments
Yeah.
from middle school that live in my mind, like, all the time, about, like, you
Yeah.
were so freaking weird for this, and this is why they treated you weirdly, is
Yeah.
because you did this thing. Like, that was like, in, and it wasn't something that was, like, innocently weird. I was, like, trying to do something and it became weird. Like, it's just like, yeah,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
it was just,
No, I fully understand that.
Oh gosh, dude, so embarrassing. Oh well, but we're adults now, and
Yeah,
it's fine.
and I'm
Um,
glad I have to never see those people ever again.
yeah. Well, I've found that a lot of my, a lot of my bullies. Um, I tell people this all the time. I can hold a mean grudge, and
Yeah,
I wish I didn't do that because I know it's not good for me to hold grudges. But I found that a lot of my bullies, like, got in a lot of trouble as adults. You know what I mean? Or
yeah,
and then some of them even looked like they're like reformed and on that climb back out of the hole they dug themselves in for being bad people when they were
yeah,
younger.
yeah.
What would you relate to that? You think so?
Um, I think for me, there's one bully that stands out in particular. Whenever I think back, and the worst thing for me is when I had Facebook, I'd sometimes go on their profile to see how they're doing
Yeah.
because obviously in my brain I'm like I don't want them to be doing well. I don't want them to be doing
Mm.
good, you know.
Yeah.
But they lost weight. They took up I think they took up like dancing or something, and they became really good at dancing. Um, and um, was it like drama? What do you
Yeah.
theater
Drama,
type of thing?
theater. Okay.
Yeah. And they became like really quite good at that. And I just was like, you know what? Here's me working at Domino's, and there's them, living their best life. Like they grew up through money as well.
Mm.
They had a, a we had a prom, right?
Yeah.
And we all went back to their house for the like an after prom party. And they had a pool, they had this huge garden, they had a couple fields, and their house was massive, and like a pool house and stuff. And that that's not too common here. And it was just like oh god, I really wish this wasn't their life, you know. But yeah, no, they've done well for themselves, and that's that's good for them. That's good for them. But it's a shame when the people that aren't nice get the good stuff, you know.
Yeah. And I also think it's a shame is that they don't probably realize how much you think about them
Yeah,
in like, you know what I mean? Like the things you do when you're younger to other people sit with them for a long
yeah,
time. I've done that same thing, man. Like, so I hope you don't feel like you're alone on that. Like, literally, like you said, I've gone and checked out their profiles and just be like, on like randomly, it'll just come to my head and be like, what are they doing?
yeah,
And I'll go look at
yeah.
it and be like, oh, they're doing all right. Like, there's one. You told me one, I'll tell you one, right? Like I had one that was like I think they were going for class clown,
Yeah.
but it was at other people's expense, you know what I mean? And so but he
Mm,
always had a little posse walking around him and everything like that. And
yeah.
they were always like just like, tearing people up like socially, like whether it's someone doing something awkward or they had to make fun of them or get laughs out of something or whatever. And yeah, he ended up after like high school, like joining a martial arts academy, getting super jacked and ripped, and winning some championships and stuff like that.
Damn.
It's like great. like yeah, he's got a pretty cool stuff under
Sick.
his belt.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know, but um, like you
It's
said,
making me want to go to this guy's profile and check it out, but I deactivated my Facebook. I'm not doing this anymore. It's toxic in my brain. I'm not doing it.
good for
So
you, dude. Good for you.
sweetheart.
I'm not that strong. um,
Well, I've got a little story about that. So I put up a post on Facebook just to tell all my like mutuals and stuff. I'm getting rid of Facebook. I'm not having it anymore. Like it does nothing for me. If you want to stay in contact, I'll keep Messenger or whatever. You can message me, but I'm not staying on Facebook. And it took me like 8 or 9 months to delete it. I made this huge post, made a big fuss about it. Like I'm leaving, I'm done, and then yeah, it took me ages to delete it. It was finally
dang,
one day I'm sat down and I'm scrolling through these videos on Facebook, and my partner says to me, "I thought you were gonna delete that," and I went, "You know what? Yeah, go on." And I just did it. It's been great. I've not even wanted to click the little Facebook icon on my phone
dude,
anymore.
good for you. Unfortunately, my day job is so dependent on social media that it's just
Yeah.
like, ugh. But yeah, I've lately found myself having that problem between Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Like I just like it's this weird thing where I'll like put my phone down, like I'll be done, and then I'll pick it back up and like do, and like I don't even realize I'm like going to go look for like at a social media.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is going on? Because like
Yeah.
people say it's like the serotonin and dopamine or something like that, but it's like I don't typically end up feeling good
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
social media. Like I don't know. But yeah, uh, man, the effects of bullying. You were right. You hit it nail on the head. Like I hope this generation can deal with it a little bit better because there is a whole lot more people talking about it
Yeah.
and dealing with things. But I also hope that like they, you know, just get all. I mean, I don't know. The world. I mean, we're living at the start of some could be crazy world war right now, and so there might be a chance that like all this cultural phenomenons that we have about, you know, influencers and stuff like that could just like, you know, could be gone
Yeah.
if things go south.
We could rewind 50 odd years
Yeah.
and go back, it's
um
crazy to think.
I was making a pretty bad joke with my fiance. I told her, I was like, hey, at least you'd be able to afford a house if that happened. So yeah, you're over there in Europe. I don't know if you want to say where you are, but you're over there in Europe. And so is that just kind of like a little side trail? How's the vibe over there with everything going down in Russia and Ukraine? I mean, I know you're not that close, but
Yeah, so I mean, I'm in the UK, I'm in Scotland, currently, and we don't really feel like it's gonna directly affect us too much, unless for some reason our prime minister goes, you know what, let's go to war, and until that point, people are queuing up for petrol,
okay, yeah.
gas, and I don't know if they're like rummaging through the stores to try and buy as much as possible at the moment, but they're definitely like making big lines at the fuel stations.
Yeah, Americans are so weird about all this. Like, without
Yeah.
not to get like political about anything, but Americans are just like super strange because they'll do that. Like, we'll have like, you know, doomsday preppers and all that kind of stuff, and they'll go out
Yeah.
and just buy out everything they can, and you know, America's always got their nose in everyone else's business, so they're all thinking a lot of people are here talking about a new draft and who would have to go for that, but I don't.
Did you happen to see the video of the dude that had I don't know what you call them, but we call them like tarpaulins, like dry sheets type of thing, and he had it in his flatbed pickup, like tied up and just putting fuel into the back of his pickup truck, and it was like a swimming pool. Yeah, yeah. It
What in
was
the world is he gonna do with all that?
unbelievable. Yeah, exactly, exactly. How is he gonna siphon that out when he gets back? He's spending, I don't know, $600 on fuel. He'll get back and he's probably got $100 of fuel left. And then how is he gonna get it out of his truck?
Wow.
I couldn't believe it when I saw it. It's one of my people when I was streaming told me about it. We have a reactor video, channel point redeem,
Mm.
and they put it on there, and I was like, what? How does anyone think this is any type of clever? Any type of clever.
That's
Oh,
crazy. That is so crazy. He should get bullied. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But okay. Congrats. That's level 4. Thank you for being honest about all that. I
yeah,
appreciate your honesty, man. Um, level 5. Mower the lawn.
yes.
You know, I call you mower the lawn. Is there something else you like to be called?
I just mower. I'm happy with that.
What's that name from?
Um, I just thought of it. Honestly, people ask me this all the time. They come in like, "Oh, I love your username. How did you think of it, or where did it get it from?" I'm like, I was just thinking of funny names that people might go, look at that, that's funny. I'll click on that stream, type of deal. And it works. It works. I guess. Um, People do. They come in like, "Oh, yo, I love your username," all the time. It's crazy.
It is really good.
Um,
It's a good username.
it just sort of came out of nowhere. it took me a long time to buy like my setup. Everything that I had was like, so I'd buy a desk, and then a few months later I'd buy this, and then I'd buy this and this. I'm sat there. I've got TV, I've got my PlayStation, and I've got a desk, right? Like I'm really basic at this point. This is back in, oh, when did I move? Probably 2016. Um, really, really basic. And I'm just sat there. I'm like, you know what? I should get a Twitch username because I want to stream. And if I get it now, at least I have a better chance of getting it than in a few years' time when I've got a full setup or whatever. And I was just like, right, what are these names? What kind of names can be really good? And this is, yeah, this was like one of my first thoughts. And I was like, this is great. I like it.
That's awesome. And you got free mascot, freaking Rotom Grass, or love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Well, here we are, sitting at level 5, Mo.
No.
I'm gonna pick you a good one.
Ooh.
Actually, I had one I wanted to ask you earlier, so I'll use that as your level 5. You get a personal question. You get a personal question. So, can you tell me about, you know, Europe and cultural pressures you feel as like as a streamer in the UK, and do you think do you feel like what you do is okay, essentially, like do you feel fulfilled, and do you think you are respected?
Okay. It's kind of tough. There's a lot of what would you say, like opinions. There's a lot of opinions. A lot of people opinionate on what you do and how you go about it. I do delivery driving as my part-time job because I'm lucky enough to be able to do streaming full time. But you know, you drive, you do delivery driving, and you talk to people when you're on deliveries, right? Um, and these people are always like, "Oh, how's your day? Has it been a long day?" And I'm always like, "No, I only started at 6 o'clock in the evening. I'm only doing a couple hours." And they go, "Oh, do you do another job?" And that's when you go, "Oh, well, do I tell them about streaming, or do I just say, I essentially maybe teach people things on the internet? Do I make it really broad, or do I go into the detail?" And it's really strange, but you pick your battles. You really do. Like if there's a I'd usually say if there's a fairly young person, up to the age of maybe, say like maybe 40, you go, "Oh yeah, I play video games online, I have an audience, and we have a lot of fun together, and I make a bit of money from advertisements, subscriptions, things like that." Most of them go, "Oh, that's amazing, like that sounds really fun." And things like that, and you just feel, that's like a weight lifted. I can talk about it and stuff if they want to listen. But then you come across 78-year-old Doris that that lives in a retirement flat. "Oh, what do you do for your full-time work then?" You go, "Oh, I just I just on the internet. I just do some things on the internet, help people out, and um things like that, and I get paid." And they're like, "Oh yeah, that's great, that's really nice." Like, so I feel like you pick your battles. If I said to Doris, "Oh, I play video games and people come through and they chat to me, and well, how do you make money from that? How is that sustainable? How is that a good job?" um well, the 21st century has brought us all these new jobs, but because you're of that age, you might not understand it. I think as time goes on, it's a lot different. So I feel like it's just mainly that you pick your battles with who you tell people, who who you tell about what you're doing, sort of thing. Um, but most people seem to think it's really cool. I remember when I told my mum, she sort of, you know, how do you make money from that? Like, how is that the same things I just said? How is that sustainable? How is that a proper job? Well, this happens and this happens and this happens. And she understood, and now whenever I see her, whenever I talk to her, how's it going? How's streaming going? Are you still enjoying it? Are you doing well? And then the other day, I told her I got Twitch partner, and she was like, "Oh, that's good." Sort of like, yeah, just brushing it off. She
Yeah.
doesn't at that point, like, she's happy for me that I'm enjoying it and everything like that, and it's going well. But she doesn't understand what that little tick, that little check mark next to your name really means. And that's a big achievement. And I knew she wasn't gonna fully understand it, but just being able to tell her that was pretty special.
Yeah, that is so
Um,
cool. Again, congratulations on that.
yeah, thank you, thank
That-
you.
That's so awesome.
I mean, I see a lot of people that stream for a long time and not get it. They're not achieving the numbers. I see people that are fairly new to streaming and get it fairly quickly. I like how I'm nice and in the middle. Everything that I've done has been natural growth. There's been no points where I've gone on these follower for follower things or sub for sub, um, or promote on this Instagram page or promote here and pay to promote your tweets and things like that. Um, Everything has been super natural. Um, and yeah, I've only just started YouTube. Like it's not even I've got a big following on YouTube and a bunch of them have just come over to watch my streams. It's just growth after growth, day after day sort of thing. And yeah, I love that. That's really good.
How long into your streaming career did you before you said I can go? I'm gonna try to go full time with this.
So I started streaming on, I want to say it's the 17th of January 2020.
Really?
And I was sporadic because I I used to be a driving instructor, so teaching people how to drive. I know it's a bit different in the US. You don't sort of have the people that really do that. Um, but yeah, I teach people how to drive. And so my streams would be sporadic because I'd have to do lessons and I'd stream whenever I could, and it wasn't often, 2-3 times a week maybe. And then the pandemic hit, and I couldn't work. Like it was against the law for me to work. Um, and so we had our politics dude, Rishi Sunak was his name. He was the guy that like dealt with all the self-employed business owners and how they were going to get relief, going to get money to cover themselves while the pandemic was going on. Um, but because I hadn't been doing it too long, I didn't get anything. But he didn't tell us this for about 2 months into the pandemic. So when the pandemic started and we went into lockdown the first time, that was March the 23rd. I said to my partner, I was like, I'm gonna jump into streaming full time. I'm gonna do 5-6 days a week, and see if something will happen. So I by the time I started, I wasn't even affiliate yet. I wasn't hitting my 3 average viewers, um, but I just jumped into it. So for the first 2 months of the first week of doing that, I got my numbers up and I got to affiliate. So it only took a week from that point. Then the first 2 months, I had no idea if I was getting paid from the government or anything, or getting any support like that. But I was growing. I was doing pretty well. For someone that doesn't do anything else. um, and so when lockdown was lifted again, I was like, I need to find a job that works around my streaming. I don't want to be a driving instructor anymore. Like I did a few lessons, but the love wasn't there for it anymore. I really enjoyed it beforehand, but then I didn't, because streaming had just been like so full on, and I'd been loving like every minute of it. It was great, and so I was like, I need to find a job that works around my streaming. So packed it in and picked up a delivery driver job where I just worked a few evenings a week and paid for all my bills, and then yeah, that was it. So I wasn't even in a good like monetary state to be able to do it. Had to get rid of my car. Um, had to reduce my bills by a significant amount to be able to do it. But I think you can do it if you really push, if you really push for it.
Yeah. Well, dude, you hit on something back there.
Yep.
That I want to go back into when you're talking about the odd peer or odd social, I don't know what you would call it, but I relate to that so much when you said like the weight gets lifted off when you can finally tell somebody what it is, kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Like so when I first started dating my fiance, I told her I had this hobby that I can't tell her about, and we had this joke because
yeah,
I was like she didn't grow up playing video games or anything like that. This like streaming was super far outside of her world, and um so we had this running joke where I said I you know I practiced the clog dance for hours on end, like in the evenings or whatever,
yeah,
and she was really patient with it, and it took me about like a month to actually tell her like what it was, and uh she just like loved it. She loved the idea of it,
yeah,
and now she even supports me still even now through it. And but man, like you're so right about the up and down of things when you're not consistent. Because
yeah.
like I took on a new job this year, and I finally like I got a huge pay boost in this new job.
Hey, nice.
Yeah, if it's good, but it is ripped my natural schedule apart. So like where
Yeah.
like
Oh,
my last job was paying me. I was in such a good position. My last job through quarantine, they paid me all the way through quarantine, which is great.
yeah,
And even though the things the nature of my job was very limited in what I could actually do during quarantine, they still paid me all the way through it. And so that was really awesome. Um
yeah. That's good.
um and so I was still home every day, and so I was able to stream like you know, during quarantine. I was able to stream for 6 to 8 hours a day. I'd usually do like two streams, one in the morning, one
Yeah,
in the evening, and had a good rhythm about that going. And and then once quarantine lifted, I had to reduce the streams again, and then I took this new job. Now I'm like every other Monday, every Tuesday, and most Thursdays. So it's
yeah,
like my
yeah.
only firm slot is Tuesday. Like I am going to stream on Tuesday. But in the other days are like up for grabs, and it's like it's been sad on, I'm not gonna lie about it. It's
Yeah.
it's been sad on my end about the viewership and
It's tough,
sub
man.
decay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um
The seeing those numbers can be, oh, it can be hell. It really can. Um the points of where I remember vividly, like Pokemon Sword and Shield had its first DLC, right? Isle of Armor. And I'm doing really well. It's July, so I'd only been streaming full time for 3-4 months. I got up to like a 35 average viewers. And I was pumped. I was so pleased. Like I'm doing really well. I'm loving it. It's amazing. The Isle of Armor DLC dropped, and I played it first day. I went down to a 12 average viewership. I lost 2/3 of my viewers on the first day, and oh my god, that was pain to feel like on top of the world one day, and then the next day being like the worst, and maybe not even wanting to go back to streaming just because of that one day. Terrible.
yeah.
But yeah, it's really difficult seeing those numbers drop, jump, move about is, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Another thing you said, um well, it slipped my mind actually. I forgot it, but yeah, I think that's something that people really need to hear though. So I know um some of the people that watch this from will be smaller streamers, you know what I mean? People that
Yeah.
are trying to work on that grind. So I appreciate you, someone who's put the grind in and has grown and has made partner. I mean, here he is, people. He's telling you it's a grind and it's a sacrifice in the
Yeah.
beginning. It's not going to come easily. And
Just relating to that like really quick. Um when you start streaming, I feel like you have to give up something. So like you've got your work, you've got your family, you've got your friends, but you've got your social life. I feel like one of those four things you have to give up to be able to stream, and that's really
100%.
tough.
100%.
That's super tough. And like I gave up mostly my friends, and that's really difficult. Like for me now, I've got one solid friend, you know. It's excuse me. Yeah, it's tough. It's really tough. But family, friends, or work, I guess friends and social life go together, really, don't they?
Yeah.
So one of those three things, yeah, you have to sort of get rid of to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's different.
You know, I don't think I've ever heard anyone like vocalize that aspect of that, but it's so true. It's very true. Because there's at
Yeah,
one point that my friends were the ones who kind of wanted me to go into it, go into streaming content creating, and I was like, oh, I mean, I'll do it, but I want to know you guys got my back through it, and um you really did find out who had your back in it, right? Like,
yeah,
two of my friends literally just resubscribed to my channel yesterday, and like it's for like the max time I've been streaming. Like, so I
yeah,
have like two people out of my whole friend group who were like, "Yeah, we got you," and have like subbed to me like the whole time. So, um,
yeah, yeah,
it's like it's crazy, but uh, I guess along like to keep that going, you the way to healthily cope with it is that you actually have to start seeing your new contacts and resources and people like your streaming mutuals or your mods, like this is now your friend group.
yeah,
Um
yeah,
I was I was just doing vitamin actions time capsule the other day, and he does something that I think is so cool that not a lot of other streamers are doing, and
yeah,
I think it's actually like really awesome that he does this. Every stream he does, every stream he does, he says, I'll be in Discord for an hour, come hang out. And he just hops into a voice chat. Anyone can come in and hang out. They turn on their face cams and they chill. Post stream
yeah.
chill. And it's like, have you ever heard about parasocial relationships? Have you ever heard what that is?
Yeah, I don't know what it is really, but yeah,
It's this idea that streamers accidentally set up and manipulate parasocial relationships, because it's this idea that you want to stream because you want to be able to make money doing things you love, which is video games and like potentially entertaining. But at some
yeah,
point, you can't say that every single person in your chat is actually like your friend. It's
a
just
friend.
it's unrealistic, but they probably think you're their friend. That's a
Yeah,
parasocial
yeah,
relationship. It's like you can't really do anything about it. You're there to get that Twitch sub, and they're there to have a community. So it's like it's tough. So I think what he is doing is he's helping to break down that parasocial wall and say,
yeah,
I am going to talk to anyone who comes into my Discord for like the next hour, and then I'm going to go to sleep. But
yeah, yeah.
pretty cool little thing.
See, I'm a bit weird. So streaming for me is super easy. I'd never struggled to click the go live button. Maybe a couple times in the past couple years. I have struggled to hit it, but every other day has been absolutely fine, no problem, and I'm fine being live. I'm fine chatting to people. I don't think I can get in a Discord voice call with random people that I don't know. I have never seen their face, or I don't know what they're going to be like. This is different. I've seen your videos. I've seen what you're like. This is different. It's still a bit nerve wracking, but it's easier than I thought it was going to be as well. People that I've never seen their face, I don't know who they are, things like that. Very, very difficult. Which is so strange because I'm sat in the same position, doing the exact same thing that I'd be doing on stream, just 1-to-1 or 1-to-3, 1-to-4 type of thing. Yeah, strange. But then going back to the parasocial relationships thing, I do feel like most of the people that come to my stream, like 99% of them, I feel like we do have like a relationship, like a friendship. Um, and like off stream, people from my chat might message me. I find it hard to reply a lot of the time. Um, it's difficult, but I feel like that barrier isn't there, and I keep my DMs open, whether it's Twitter or Discord or anything. And I'm pretty sure everyone knows that. And if they wanna come and chat, they can, sort of thing. So, but I do get that. If I grew to like 1,000 viewers and say a fifth of them message me after stream, I couldn't cope with that. You know, that'd be way too much. The DMs would get closed and everything like that. But with the audience that I've got, even though it's large, or to me it's large at least, um, I still feel like we're all like a big friendship, you know, a big family type of thing,
Yeah.
which is really good. I'm happy with that because I know a lot of people just stream and then they're like, well, thank God that's over. I made this much money or whatever. Like that's not what it's about, you know. It
Right.
is, but it's not.
Right. Right. Yeah. Well, I'm pretty positive you are gonna keep growing, Mower. So you might put a battle plan together of how to handle
I
this,
did,
because I
yeah.
imagine that'll come around. So, um, but
You never know.
you
It's
never
one of
know.
those.
That is level 5, man. That was a great question. Or
Mm,
I mean conversation. I mean, that was a good
yeah.
little direction that we went. I really like that. And again, thank you for being honest and like spilling out your guts on
Yeah,
it. I
of course.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
So
All
congratulations. That
good.
means you have made it to level 6, which means it's time for our 6th level sub challenge. For anyone who's still watching this video, which I really hope is a lot of people, because that what we just talked about was very good to hear and very good to know. And just as a reward, I'd like to thank everyone who's watched this far. We're doing a secret level sub challenge. If you guys watched the videos before, you guys know the drill. The next time Mower of the Lawn is live on twitch.tv/Mower of the Lawn, then uh after this video is released, the first person to go into his chat and say I made it to level 6, that is when or that he will write down your name, send it to me, and I will gift you a sub to his community as thanks for making this far. Thank you so much for the support, everybody. I really appreciate it. And if you already have a sub, do it anyways. If you're the first person to do it, I will gift a random sub to the community in your honor. Again, just thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate this. With that being said, Mower, you are now on the 6th level. Yeah, 2 more questions, and these are usually some doozies. So, um, level 6. You ready?
I'm ready.
What is a thing in the world that often disappoints you?
Something in the world that disappoints me.
Often, yeah.
Something came straight to mind, and I don't know if this is going to be like my actual answer, but it's what I'm going to go with for now.
Okay.
When people don't think about other people. So there's a lot of times where, and this is this is going to relate to work because this is where I get the most frustrated. So I go out for my deliveries, and we all come back at different times. It's usually between like 9 p.m. and 10:30 p.m. And I'll come back at like maybe say 10 o'clock. There'll be no one else around, and they've closed the shutter doors, so I can't get in. there's there's 3 more delivery drivers out doing their rounds, doing things like that. They haven't thought about us like trying to get in. They've just closed them. Oh, just close them because we're heading out. We're gonna leave it empty. Well, there's 3 or 4 more people coming back. We need to get in. You gotta walk all the way around the store, which is pretty big. You gotta walk all the way around it, go through it, come back again, open the shutters for yourself, and then you can do your stuff again. But they don't think about you, and I think that's my biggest thing that just disappoints me because I feel like I think about how other people feel all the time. I feel like an empathetic person, you know. That really, yeah, just makes me frustrated because I know that I wouldn't do that, you know,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, and especially it goes to show it makes you wonder, like, what are the reasons why people forget about others?
Yeah, yeah.
Makes you wonder, like, what was so on their mind that they forgot something like this, or like, or chose against it, or didn't wonder about that. I think that's a really really interesting cultural concept because there are jobs that go unrecognized and uncelebrated, but like literally if they
Yeah.
didn't get done would crumble society, right? So like such
Yeah.
as like a delivery driver. So can you tell me what that exactly means? Like you say you run deliveries. Do you like drive an Amazon truck or um
Uh, I do groceries.
oh cool.
So like supermarket um stuff, and anything from nappies to booze, to I don't know, shelves, mops, buckets, and food.
Just whatever anyone could
Everything
buy
that
in a
you'd need.
store. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Um that's super cool. Is that a pretty popular choice in the UK? Like people have their stuff delivered?
Fairly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It doesn't really make much sense because everyone that you deliver to has a car. So it's like they could just, pop 5 minutes down the road, 10 minutes down the road, do their shopping and come back again.
Mhm.
But it just makes it that little bit easier, so people go, "Oh yeah, I think I'll get it delivered."
Mm.
And they pay a few pounds for it, um, but it's just that little bit easier. Now, when it was locked down in the pandemic, the first, I'd probably say, year to a year and a half was madness. People couldn't get deliveries because everyone wanted them. The delivery slots would open, I think it was about 3 a.m., and people would set alarms on their phone to wake up at 3 a.m. to book these slots for the next week, so they could physically get one. And so we were like rushed off our feet type of thing.
Mm.
But it's calmed down a lot more now. I find myself doing my 5 hour shift and only having 4 or 5 deliveries. Um, and then maybe only taking an hour, 2 hours to do them. Um, yeah. What was the question again?
Oh, so I was just asking you like about what that means for like deliveries and stuff like that, but um
Oh, okay. Yeah.
um which sounds pretty interesting because like in the Midwest people don't do that. And
Yeah.
well,
Like you
some
wouldn't get
there's a
like maybe a
handful of people that
Walmart.
do it, but yeah, when we go to
Yeah.
Walmart, COVID did some things like they'll like preload your cart for you, to where you just like pull up and your
Oh.
cart's already made. But
Yeah.
most people don't have any like groceries delivered or anything like that. Like you got to be pretty affluent to get groceries delivered.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
not that it's expensive, I don't think. I just think it's just like not a priority. I don't think, but
Yeah.
um.
Hmm.
Well, oh, but we were talking about like the disappointment that like about humans not thinking about other humans.
Yeah.
Do you think do you think there's like personalities that just don't think about it, or do you think like somehow like it's like almost like a person is trained to not think about other people? You've heard of nurture versus nature, right? Like it's this.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you think being apathetic towards people is a nature or nurture thing?
It's really tough because when I was growing up, I wasn't very empathetic. Up until like my sort of early teenage years, not at all. Um, I didn't, the things that I did, I didn't think would bother other people, but they can do. And then you sort of learn that people live the same sort of lives that you do, just they maybe do different things or go about things differently. Um, but they're living a full life like you are. And so thinking about that kind of thing over the years has sort of made me think about other people, and if I do this, who's it going to affect, and if I do this, who's it going to affect, blah blah blah, etc. Um, so I think I don't know if it's more of a nature or nurture thing, but from looking at that, that's got to be a nurture thing, because if I'd never have started to think that way, I would have been the same since birth, right? So that would be a nature thing. Um, so yeah, I guess I'd probably say nurture, but then I do feel like people do have loving natures anyway. Um, yeah, yeah, some people that maybe have never grown up in a good upbringing want to give better upbringings to their children
Mhm.
when they do that. So I think nature does play a big part of it as well, though. Nature versus nurture is such a difficult topic because then you end up stemming into so many different things.
Oh yeah, yeah,
It's tough. I like it.
yeah, yeah. Well, it's one of my other favorite questions in this that I've asked to a couple people, um, which I asked in like the very last video I did, so that's why I didn't ask you. But is like this question about like, does your name have anything to do with who you become? And you know what I mean? Because it's this weird concept like that, like there's certain names that people just don't resonate with. Like, and I've told people like,
Yeah.
I don't like the name Kinney. When I meet Kinneys, like I automatically like have a like predisdain, and it's because I've met
Mm,
Kinneys in the past that have affected me negatively, and so it's like when I meet Kinneys, I'm like, ugh. It's like,
yeah.
you know, it's annoying, or well, it's annoying on my end to have that stumbling block over everyone I meet named Kinney, but uh,
Yeah.
but that's the nature versus nurture thing though. Is like I've been there when it comes down to being named. It's like it plays into both because I think there's like certain names that automatically set you up in a certain people will probably disagree with me,
Yeah.
but I think there are certain
No, I
names that
get it.
set you up into a category, and then again the way that people have met other versions of people with your name decides on
Yeah.
how they treat you, and so you are then nurtured based off of every other person with your name.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
it's a strange thought, man. Nature versus nurture, it's wild. But
I like the baby names. Oh, do you like this baby name? Oh no, because I knew someone with that name and they were horrible.
yeah.
Yeah. Like if you didn't know that person, would you like it? Oh yeah, I might like it. It'd be pretty good.
I think there's a there's a trend where like baby names, like a lot of babies get named like old people names, and
Yeah.
I think that's probably because like at some point you realize the best people you know are like old people. Yeah, like they're just like, you know, kind and sweet.
Yeah.
Um yeah.
I mostly just don't understand where the name Keith comes from. I don't like that one.
Keith.
That's a big one for me, Keith.
Yeah. It's I can't say anything about Keith because my fiance's dad name is Keith, and I like him.
Yeah.
I like him. He's a good guy. So,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you know, there's some Keiths along the line that I've had the pleasure of meeting, but I just don't get it. I don't think I could ever call a baby Keith. It just seems wrong,
oh yeah, I see what you're
you
saying.
know?
Like to name him Keith and like call him Keith as like a baby. I see what
Yeah.
you're saying. That does feel weird. Um, but yeah. Um, well, man, thank you. That's a great little bit of conversation right there. I think I really resonate with that. You know, when people just clearly aren't like looking at a situation as a whole, and everyone involved in that situation, they're not very big
Yeah.
picture team oriented minded. Yeah, that's frustrating. That is frustrating. but but that's
Mm.
level 6. The last question, level 7.
We're here.
So this is the gonna be the first reoccurring question of season 2. Pretty excited.
Mm.
Mower, you be the first person to get to answer this in season 2, and I'm excited to figure this out. I decided this time to go with I really liked the first season 1 repeating question, but I thought it would be refreshing to change it up a little bit, and
Yeah.
to but maybe I don't know. We'll see. I hope this one is as good as my other one. But level 7 question, the reoccurring question for season 2 is going to be, how do you deal with the things you can't control?
Okay. Give me one example.
Okay. Death.
Death. Death's a big one death to me, death doesn't scare me. Death is one of those things. I feel I deal with it very well. I'm very strong-minded when it comes to death. I don't feel like it's a huge affecting factor of my life. Um, my my dad passed away in 2015, and I deal with it well, but I deal with it so well to a point of where I don't remember the date,
Mm,
you know,
mm,
or
mm,
anything like that. I can remember the year, and I remember like it was before a certain event. Um, but since then, what's that? 7 years now.
mm-hmm,
I think I've cried twice about it. Um, and the last time was actually before moving to where I am now. Because I went to visit his grave before I came up. It was the last thing I did.
mm,
Um, yeah, it's one of those things where I don't feel like I'm very much of a sort of IRL people person. Does that make sense? So
mm-hmm.
like,
Yeah,
I
no, that
love
makes
my
sense.
dad. Great dude. No, amazing sense of humor. Uh, gets on well with literally everyone. I don't think I've ever seen him have an argument apart from with my mum, and even then they'd be tiny little arguments about basically nothing. Um, yeah, I've got nothing bad to say about him, but for me to bring that to light and to shed a tear over it, I think I'm very strong-willed. I don't feel like it's really affected me too much. I mean, it probably has in certain ways, just that I haven't seen.
Mm,
But the way I deal with death, I suppose, is just to, life goes on. Um, New chapters are starting where others are finishing.
mm,
Um, has it affected me? Yeah, for a bit, but now it's in the past. It's done. Um, it would be incredible to see my dad again, and I don't know, go and do something, play a game of snooker or pool or something, or I don't know. But yeah, that's done. I can go and do that with someone else.
mm,
Or I can do something else instead. I don't have to go and play snooker or pool with someone else. I can just do something else instead. And I feel like that's where I see a silver lining of like this is gonna sound bad. I see a silver lining of like freedom. If someone that's in my life maybe passes away, um, I then have that freedom of where I'm not having to see them again, and I can fill that space with doing something else. Um, and that's nothing against them because I'd love going and seeing them, hanging out with them or whatever. Um, but I can feel that time differently now.
mm,
It's really strange. I feel like I'm strong with it, but I just sort of let it go past. Stress is something where I've gone, is that going to affect what I feel tomorrow? If not, it's nothing to stress about. Death can stress you out for like a couple days or like a couple months or a couple years. But then once that time has passed, your grieving time has passed, you can go, is that going to affect me tomorrow now? No. Tomorrow's going to be the same as today.
mm,
I'm not stressed anymore. I don't have to deal with it. And I think just the way I sort of look at life scales down how I feel about death.
mm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, man.
It's a tough subject, death.
Yeah, but man, what a wise application. Is it gonna affect me tomorrow? And there's a whole bunch of reasons why it could. Like, yeah, I'm still gonna be
Yeah.
sad tomorrow. I'm still gonna be, you know, I still have to deal with, the, all the things that come around at like planning a funeral or anything like that. But
Yeah.
then
How other people feel as well.
you're right,
Yeah.
right. But man, just being able to sit down and take a second to ask yourself, is how is it gonna affect me tomorrow? And eventually the answer should be it probably won't.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
which of course does not mean you've forgotten or or yeah,
Yeah.
it
Of
just
course. Yeah.
it just mean like as you said, your grieving time is over. So man,
Yeah.
great answer, dude. That was so insightful. Awesome.
I feel like I've been around that kind of thing enough to um sort of know how I want to deal with it. I deal with it and it's done type of deal. You know? So yeah. So that I've not had to experience it a ton, but I've had to experience it enough for someone of my age, sort of thing.
Mm.
Um so yeah, I feel like I go, oh, so now that's happened, this is the next stage, this is the next stage, and then I'm done grieving type of deal, you know?
Yeah, dude, very insightful. People better be listening to this, okay? This is gonna come in handy someday. So, um,
Some life advice. Can you think of any other examples? But maybe
uh,
not death, but
so yeah, like other things
no.
like you can't control that'd be like out of your wheelhouse, like other people's emotions. You know what I mean? Like you things
Oh, so like I don't know, so somebody like crying, maybe? Like how would you deal with somebody crying or
or not just like crying, but like just the fact that like you can't help, you can't change, like you can't do anything about people's feelings. Like you can put your effort into it and maybe it'll change, but they change their own feelings, right? You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
you don't actually have any control over someone's feelings. They like
Mm,
it's all internally in them. Or stuff that is like just like the way the world works, like, uh
yeah.
you can't do anything about, the government you live under, right? I mean, like um politicians do that, and like, um but
Yeah.
so examples like that. I don't know if there's anything you'd want to add on to how you deal with those, but
Yeah, I think when it comes to maybe the government and stuff, they're making decisions not necessarily for you as a person, but for everyone. And you have to live with that. And I feel like that is going to affect you tomorrow. That's something which will cause stress. And you can complain and you can do as much as you want to do, but at the end of the day, unless you're putting work in to get it changed, petitions, rallies, protests, anything like that, you're not going to. And so you have to make that decision for yourself. Are you going to let it lie or are you going to do something about it?
mhm.
Um and for me, you know, I'm not that motivated. I'm not motivated enough to try and change something the government wants to do or is set out to do. So I've got to get past it. I've got to get over it.
Mhm.
Um, it's one of those things, and I think being able to just tell myself, you got to get over it. It's just yeah. Once again with the strong sort of mind aspect, I can push myself into feeling different about something, even if I didn't necessarily feel the same way to start with.
Mm.
Yeah, it's just the mindset. I think it's just the mindset.
Yeah. Yeah, and it sounds like, yeah, different personalities are gonna struggle with this like differently, right? Like clearly, you know, you and I probably are pretty similar in this way. Like you and I both probably don't fret over other people's feelings as much. Like I don't know if you would say that, but like I mean, I
Yeah,
mean, you say you hate when people don't think about other people, but like I don't typically respond emotionally to things, or when people seem to be responding emotionally to things, I kind of like yeah, I just kind of don't like value the emotions in their response type thing. Not that like I don't know, that's like a cruel way
yeah.
to put it. I just like
No, no.
I'm just a little bit, I like logical and rational processes, not emotional ones. Is what
Yeah,
I mean to say. So I'm not trying to sell anyone their feelings aren't valid or anything like that. It's just more of like it's more of like
exactly, exactly.
keep your feelings out of the conversation if you like. It's just like but um yeah, um yeah, I think other people, like I was saying, other people will struggle with this a little bit more than we will, but I think there is a really big value in being able to uh assess
Yeah.
these incontrollable variables in a logical way of, how much is it worth worrying about if I literally can't do anything about it, and or um it's not gonna affect me at all, or
Yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah.
man, that's awesome. Mower the lawn, that's level 7, and that is 7 levels. You did it, dude. This is awesome. What a good conversation. I can't wait. I'm so
Yeah.
excited that this was the first 7 levels that we have of season 2. I'm so excited. Thank you so
Yeah. That was
much.
so good.
Good. I'm glad you had a good
Yeah, no
conversation.
problem. Thank you.
I very much valued our conversation and our time together.
Yeah.
So go ahead and take a little bit to tell people what you got coming up, anything you got, that you want to advertise, or new community things, or anything you're participating in pretty soon. What you got going on?
Um, I'm mostly quite solo. I'm mostly quite solo when it comes to um my content and things like that. Um, very soon there will be a Twitch partner party for celebrating becoming Twitch partner and the community that has been built around it. Um, but yeah, most of the stuff that's upcoming is just going to be any new game releases that I'm interested in. Tiny Tina's Wonderland, the new Borderlands content, God of War, anything new Pokemon comes up, I'm going to be partaking in that. But yeah, from now, from however long ago, going forward, all the way into the future, 6 days a week streaming, 11 a.m. UK time. Yeah, 6 days a week apart from one, which I don't know, whether it's going to be a Tuesday that I take off or a Saturday or what at this point. But yeah, it all depends on my work for the next couple of weeks, I think. But it's up in the air. So yeah, I'm planning to do charity streams. I've not done my first charity stream yet. I've been streaming over 2 years and not done one. But I am in talks with someone to do one. There's no current set date or anything, just talks about it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I want to raise money for more cancer charities and drug abuse related charities as well.
It's a great cause.
There's a lot of work that needs doing, and I want to help,
Yeah.
So yeah, twitch.tv/Mowerofthelawn. I have a YouTube channel as well. It's mostly shiny reactions from Twitch content at the moment. Hoping to get more highlights, funny videos out at some point. Yeah. So yeah. My Twitter's a big one as well. I enjoy being on Twitter, so
Yeah.
you can catch me on all 3 of those pretty easily.
Well, awesome, man. Thank you so much. And yeah, as he said, he's trying to grow his YouTube channel. Please go over and check out Mower the Lawn's YouTube. He literally has it as Mower the Lawn. So type it all in as one word. It'd be the first thing that pops up on there. I did it earlier today. But man, thank you so much. All that we have left to do is say goodbye to YouTube. So
Yeah.
goodbye, everybody.
See ya.